Hi, I'm JP Diener. I'm a litigator with Beresford Booth. And today I'm going to be telling you what I think are the most valuable and most important qualifications of a good litigation attorney. If you need to hire a litigation attorney, if you're being sued or you need to sue somebody to enforce your rights, you need a good litigator. And litigators come in all shapes, sizes, and backgrounds. Some are better than others. And I want to give you some insight into what to look for when you're hiring. The most important, number one element of a good litigator is their general competence and experience. There's really no substitute for good experience. Uh, you need to find an attorney who's handled your legal issue before, if that's at all possible. And there are some very unique legal issues out there. There are some cases that pop up from time to time that most attorneys don't have experience with. Uh, but if you can find somebody who's handled a case like yours before, that's that's always very, very helpful. Um, if not, you need to find an attorney who at least understands litigation, who's experienced in really the art and science of litigation, because I think that litigation is both an art and a science. So you need somebody who, even if they haven't dealt with your specific issue before, they have a solid foundation in litigation and they understand the procedural rules and how to conduct discovery. Because a lot of the same strategies in litigation can be applied across a variety of legal areas, across different business industries, and with different claims. So if you have a litigator who really has done a lot of litigation, they are going to know what those strategies are, what those basic procedural and discovery strategies are that are going to apply and help you in your case. And if your business industry or your specific legal issue is a very rare one, something that doesn't pop up regularly for the attorney that you hired or for attorneys in general, the litigator that you hire needs to be willing to take the time to fully understand the issues in your case. They need to invest the time to really learn about it. And some of that time may be time that is not charged to you, but it's just time that they need to spend to really learn comprehensively, either about your business industry that underlies the claims, or about your specific claim and the law behind it. So you got to find somebody who, if they haven't dealt with this specific issue before, is willing to dive in, do the research, and become knowledgeable as quickly as possible. The next important quality is communication. You need somebody who is a good communicator. Litigators have to have a great line of communication with their clients. Otherwise, the litigation is going to suffer. You need somebody who's going to call you back or answer your call or call you back within a reasonable time. You need somebody who's going to respond to your emails, who's willing to sit down, answer your questions, take the time to address all of your concerns, and help you understand the litigation process. For a lot of people, litigation, is a new and different experience that they don't fully understand. And a good litigation attorney will take that into consideration and will take the time to answer their clients' questions and to paint the picture of how the process is going to go so that there aren't any huge surprises, so that the client knows what to expect. So you need somebody who is a good communicator. And good communication, frankly, it goes both ways. You have to respond to your attorney, just like your attorney needs to respond to you. Dealing with clients who do not answer emails, who do not return phone calls, who take a long time to answer questions, that can be extremely detrimental to litigation, because litigation involves some very hard and fast deadlines. And if as an attorney you're waiting for your client to get back to you with important information, those deadlines can be missed. And that can be extremely detrimental to your case. So the good communication needs to go both ways. Find somebody who's willing to communicate with you and be willing to communicate in return. The third important quality of a great litigator is honesty and trust. You need an attorney who is going to be honest with you about your case every step of the way. When you're hiring a litigator, the last thing that you want is a yes person. You may want an aggressive bulldog, somebody who's going to defend your interests every step of the way, and that's great. But they also have to be honest with you about the risks involved. They have to be willing to sit down and explain to you what you face if things don't go your way. If you have an attorney who is guaranteeing you a result or telling you that you face no risk, they're probably not the best attorney for you. Because in litigation, that's almost never the case. All litigation involves risk, all of it. No, it doesn't matter if you're being sued or if you're bringing the lawsuit. All litigation involves risk. And that's something that your attorney has to be open and honest with you about. There is no such thing in litigation as a slam dunk or an open and shut case. In litigation, you are putting the result of your dispute in the hands of somebody else. Maybe that's going to be a judge. Maybe that's going to be a jury. Maybe that's going to be an arbitrator. But the control over how this dispute ends is not yours. Your attorney is going to argue on your behalf. They are going to support you and take your side and argue the legal elements of your case. But ultimately, the decision about how to resolve your dispute is going to be in the hands of somebody else who you have no control over. And that means that there's substantial risk. So you need an attorney who every step of the way can explain what the process is, what the risks involved are, and what you face around every corner of a twisty and turny litigation process. Next, you need to hire an attorney who has respect for your time and your money. It is important to understand if you're going into litigation, litigation can be very, very expensive, and you need to be prepared for that. That said, you don't always need a kitchen sink approach to litigation. Every case is different. So the strategies that your lawyer uses can be and should be different in each case. Your attorney should sit down, craft a strategy with three major things in mind. First of all, giving you the best chance to prevail. That needs to be the number one consideration. Whether you're defending or prosecuting an action, your attorney's number one focus should be on what strategy, what approach, what argument is going to give you the best chance to prevail. The next thing that the attorney needs to do is craft a strategy that doesn't string the process out any longer than necessary. Litigation is not only expensive, but it can be very time-consuming, which is often why it is expensive, because it can last for months or even years. There are plenty of examples of litigation matters that have lasted several years because they can go through the trial process, and then they can go up on appeal, and then sometimes they come back to trial and you have to retry it or retry certain parts of the case, and then it can go up to appeal again. Now that's a process that literally can take years. So it's important for your attorney to develop a strategy that is going to keep that process as short as possible while still giving you the best chance to prevail. And sometimes the best chance to prevail means a long process, but your attorney should consider that, should consider the length of the process. And both of those things tie into the third thing the attorney needs to consider when crafting a strategy, which is the respecting the use of your money. you're funding the litigation. You're providing the attorney the money for his or her time as the attorney battles on your behalf in the courtroom and out of the courtroom. And the attorney needs to respect that, needs to respect this is your money, and needs to craft a strategy that is going to give you the best chance to prevail while not overburdening your checkbook. And sometimes that is very, very hard to do. But it is possible in most cases, and the attorney should consider that. And if there's no way to do it, again, the attorney needs to be honest with you and say, listen, this is going to be so expensive that you may want to consider alternatives to litigation. Could be mediation. Maybe you need to consider arbitration. But again, that's where that honesty comes into play. An attorney should not treat your case as a cash cow or anything along those lines. The attorney needs to have respect for you and your money. And lastly, the other thing, the last thing that you're really looking for in a great attorney, a great litigation attorney, is one who has a solid staff and good support. Litigation is rarely a one-person endeavor. Unless the litigation is very simple and straightforward, which that exists, there is very simple and straightforward litigation. But unless that is the case, it can be very, very difficult for just a single person to litigate a case. You're going to be in the best situation if you've got an attorney who has an experienced and sharp support staff who can help them out every step of the way. That can include paralegals, that can include legal assistants, and those people are really critical to the litigation process because they not only support the attorney, they not only help the attorney out, but they give you, the client, a lower cost alternative for less complex tasks. If you've got the attorney billing you their regular hourly rate for everything from writing a brief to putting a stamp on an envelope, you're probably overpaying. And there are tasks that can easily be handled by the support staff and should be handled by the support staff. So when you're looking for an attorney, look not only at them, look at their staff. Do they have sufficient support staff to make this an economical and efficient process for you? And in addition to the support staff, you may end up needing more than one attorney. If your case is exceptionally complicated, if there's a lot going on in your case, and you're working with an experienced and successful attorney, chances are you might need multiple attorneys. They may need to pull in a lower level associate or maybe even a higher level attorney if things get super complicated, or they may need to bring an attorney with an expertise in a specific area to help on one specific facet of your case. But you need an attorney who can call on that kind of support, either inside their office or without. They need that network. They need those connections with other attorneys who can step in and support them and help your case if it becomes necessary. And in a lot of very complex litigation, you need multiple attorneys. And you need an attorney who utilizes legal technology. In this digital age, lawyers and law firms rely heavily on many different types of software, many different types of online access to legal research. And if you've got an attorney who's spending hours, heading to the library and looking through 40, 50, 60-year-old books, I mean, chances are that's probably not in your best interest. Sometimes the answer that the attorney is looking for is only in one of those old dusty books. But more often than not, they can cut down on your costs by utilizing really good legal technology. And so you should ask about that, and you should find out if they have good quality legal technology at their fingertips. So Those are the main qualities that you're looking for. When you're looking to hire a litigation attorney, whether it's to defend you or to bring an action on your behalf, you're looking for somebody with experience, either in your specific area of the law or in litigation generally. But you need somebody with some experience and some background. You need somebody who's willing to communicate. Good communication is absolutely essential to litigation. It will get bogged down, it will go nowhere if the attorney and the client do not have good communication. You need an attorney who's honest and trustworthy, who you can count on to tell you the straight scoop. You don't want an attorney who's going to paint you a pretty picture, and then you end up being super disappointed. The attorney needs to be honest with you about the risks involved so that you can understand it and you can make the decisions that are best for you in the course of litigation. And in that same vein, you need an attorney who respects your time, respects your money, and takes you as a person or you and your company into consideration when it is drafting its litigation plan and coming up with how it's going to handle the litigation process. And lastly, again, great staff and support, great use of legal technology. Those things are important in today's day and age. So when you get ready to hire an attorney, look for those things. If you're looking here in Washington State, Beresford Booth is one of the best bangs for your buck. We have many attorneys who meet all of these qualities, and we're standing by to help you. Thank you.